Welcome back, disc golf fans, to Round 2 Front 9 coverage from Gatekeeper Media of the Discraft Ledgestone Open presented by Merrill, a Disc Golf Pro Tour Elite Series Plus event. And today we are at quite the antithesis of yesterday's course out at Northwood Black. I am Nathan Queen, joined by Andrew Fish.
Delighted to be here. As you say, quite the antithesis. We saw a ton of open area, lots of grass, lots of water, and today Adam Hammes, Cole Redalen, Garett Everson, and Simon Lizotte are going to have to put up with an entirely different set of challenges. Gaps, slopes, it's all there.
Yeah, just so much different, and it's such a different feeling walking into that course as well. You get to park in the shade, you walk up to a nice shaded area, and Adam Hammes is going to walk up to that area with a bag, starting putting with the focuses. Going to throw that ESP Buzz quite a bit for his upshot. It's going to see a Crystal Raptor and some Forces, probably an Athena as well.
Cole Redalen, plenty of power. He's going to putt with the Steady Stone BL. He also has a zone in the bag. Those mid-rangers are going to get a workout today. I expect to see the Quake for a little bit of overstable finish, and then the Vortex, Pipeline, and Bonsai for fairways.
We've got Garett Everson, new to the coverage as far as I'm aware of, putting with a prototype P2. Got an interesting mixed bag of putters there. Going to see some Rock 3s and some Buzzes, and Thunderbirds, Firebirds, Destroyers.
And Simon Lizotte, not a stranger to Gatekeeper Media's chase card coverage. Going to putt with the Anode, mid-ranges, Hex, Pyro, and Deflector, and then the assortment of just about every MVP driver, it seems like.
And here we are at that different course, hole 1, 455-foot downhill immediately off of the tee, and a very tight gap. Ideally, you'd like something to stand up about halfway through the flight and then just straighten out the rest of the way there.
First off of the box, from Minocqua, Wisconsin, Adam Hammes.
Northwood Black, only a couple years old. Debuted after the 2019 World Championships. And by now, some of these new holes have had a chance to season in, beat back the underbrush a little bit. There's a reason that a lot of players regard this as one of the favorite tracks on the entire tour. Hammes with the backhand. This is starting left. There is some out of bounds over there to contend with, but Hammes appears to have come up short of that.
Yeah, just barely.
I think it's just in front over.
Next up for day 2 of the competition, from Portland, Oregon, Cole Redalen.
I can see the top half of Cole.
Yeah, I can't quite figure out where the rest of them's at. I still can't believe this kid's got pants on.
It's not too buggy. It's definitely humid, and it was in the high 80s today. Early left release. This is going to need help.
Looks like it got a little bit of help, and then even some more late help. Gonna have to open look at the basket to get up and down for par.
Next up, from Sioux Falls, South Dakota, Garett Everson.
And I apologize if I've been saying Garrett's last name incorrectly. I hope the starter has it correct.
Yeah, seen his name a couple times this year popping up. And he also is going to be a bit early left, but catch that fence and stay in bounds.
Rounding out the card, from Shrewsbury, Massachusetts, the 2015 Ledgestone champion, Simon Lizotte.
And Simon, everybody tracking towards that left side. This one is going to boost to the left side out of
Ladies and
bounds.
gentlemen, next tee time will be at approximately 3:20.
Yeah, all 4 of those shots came out early and went left of the actual gap pretty early.
And depending on where you are, it can be difficult to approach from over there. Simon to the bullseye, however. He will settle for his bogey. Cole with the long jump putt.
Wow. Had it on a pretty good line from over 100, it looked like. And not many birdies on this hole today. 14% of the field. Playing is the 5th most difficult hole on the course. We had 10 holes average over par today.
I believe it. There are so many different ways to get in trouble out here at Northwood. You can miss your line, you can get a kick. There is a little bit of out of bounds in certain places, and some tricky basket positions that require precision to the direction on the green.
Card 3 pars and Simon with a bogey to start us out on hole 1.
Hole 2, a par 4 at 580 feet. Tee shot is uphill through this set of gaps. You'd like it to break a little bit to the left in order to set up an angle change in the fairway, as we are going to dogleg to the right and track a little bit downhill now. Some scattered trees as you approach the green and the basket, a little bit challenging to stop your disc once you've gotten all of that distance.
Looks pretty straightforward down here from the bottom. This is inside from Adam. He really needed that to stand up to the left a lot more than that. But once you get up to the top of that hill, it seems kind of like it's a little difficult to find that exact landing zone that you're looking for.
Yeah, Cole's going to throw this to the left side.
Yeah, it looks like he got caught up just a bit early as well.
But in general, left side of this fairway is much more favorable to attack the gap. Everson getting a little bump. He will be in the fairway.
Yeah, but still early, not quite looking down the second part of the fairway.
And Simon, this isn't flattening nearly enough, I don't think. So he will be forced to also throw an Anheuser angle. Redalen, attempted roller, tracks to the inside.
Yeah, Garett also having to go standstill here. Looks like he gets a nice line on this. Really able to get some good carry out of it. That's a great shot from where he was at. Put himself in deep circle two.
Yeah, anytime you're out of position, it's pretty important to get what you can without introducing too much risk.
It looks like Simon got some good ground play on his drive and did get almost to straight down that fairway, but catches one of those late trees. Gonna keep him right around circle's edge rather than in bullseye for a birdie.
Adam from early right. This is thick, uncut woods.
Wow.
He's going to play high and over. Cutting the corner, not the prescribed way, but reasonably effective here.
Yeah, great outshot there. He's going to have a great opportunity to be up and down for par.
Good speed control by Cole. I think he missed his gap that he truly intended, but in position for the par.
Adam may be a long stab at it, but up and down for his par. Well done after early in the woods on the right.
And Simon, nose up, a little bit of Anheuser.
That's the way to bounce back right there. That was well outside of circle one.
Yeah, buckets. And that's how you erase an early bogey.
Yeah, with a clean Gatekeeper rewind. What a great putt. Little Anheuser smooth release as well. Gonna tie himself back up with the card here, looking to be all even par through 2.
And while yesterday was a little bit of a sprint with every hole attackable, out here, pars are really, really good, Nathan.
Definitely so, especially once you get to kind of the middle section of the back 9. Bringing us into hole 3, 604-foot par 4. You want to get down this hill to this point and then move a little bit to the right. Ideally, you want to land somewhere around this area. Got a fairway on the left side and then a tighter fairway over here on the right. But just trying to traverse your way down the second part of that fairway, kind of dealing with where you land off of the tee.
Forehand probably the most common play, although backhand turnover also is effective. Simon a touch inside, but makes it far enough that he's going to have something to approach the green.
Early right is no good.
Thank you.
Adam Hammis, though, has gone straight down the middle of the fairway. He's going to be 300 or so into the pin from there.
Perhaps closer. And
Maybe 280.
you see the difference in those two releases. Hammis was hyzer and it flattened up immediately. Redalen, the same release angle, but too stable. Everson also going to go with the forehand. And that's always right.
Yeah, that was more inside than Cole's was. We'll see where they ended up at. Cole still kind of out in the open, but doesn't have a lot here as far as able to get distance.
Going to cut the corner reasonably. He'll be around 200.
Got forehand roller coming out already here on hole 3.
And that's the creativity you love to see and what you got to
Wow.
do sometimes. Holy cow, Nathan.
Look at this thing stand up late. And he is well down the fairway. Gonna have what looks to be a fairly easy pitch up and
Absolutely. Jump putt approach, probably. Simon the turnover. This needs to scoot. And you see the camera following it. He should have a look down the hill.
down. Yeah, gonna have another circle 2 opportunity there.
And the late stability from Hammis's approach. Extra curl down to about circle's edge.
Yeah, Cole needs this to get up and down for another good par. And Tree helps him out just a bit. He's gonna be right there inside circle 1.
All right, big time scramble from Garett Everson. About 20 feet left for a par.
This hole did end up averaging over par today. 20% of the field birdies, but 23 bogey or above. Adam with the chance for the lone birdie on the card.
And does so nicely.
Yeah, first one under on the card today.
Garrett's going to go through his full routine here. Got to stay patient. Every stroke counts.
Yeah, and just comes up a bit low there. I don't know his putt well enough to know if he rushed that, but it looked a little fast on the downswing and upswing.
I agree with that assessment. That one's significantly faster. And Simon going to clean up his par also. Hole 4, a par 4 at 637 feet. Once again, a difficult par 4 to reach the true landing zone. Forehands are a pretty reasonable way to do it, or a very understable backhand. If you haven't gotten to where you can almost see the basket, or at least see this bridge, you're probably not going to be able to get all the way across cleanly. And basket perched just past the upslope of that creek bed.
Yeah, this is a pretty fun par 4. There is a ideal line. Adam's going towards it right now, but fading maybe a bit too sharply. Gets a nice stop, and I believe he's going to be in a great spot.
I think so, but even from there, everything is a scramble. You can't script your second shot ever on this hole.
Right.
And Simon with plenty of distance, but that's pretty inside. Likely a lean-out forehand Anheuser if he wants to attack the green. See the hyzer flip backhand from Cole Redalen.
Oh, well inside. An early tree kicks him off to the left. There's a pretty steep slope over there early on as well.
Creek is safe and or casual.
Very difficult to get that backhand line to stand up enough. The way that the ground slopes down from right to left as well just kind of drags that disc left the whole time, even though they want it to go straight.
Definitely, and the action has to be so late in the flight, hence why Adam's forehand playing back into the slope is a little more natural. Garett just needs to play position golf, get about 250 or so that he's lined up with this gap.
Yeah, and it looks like he's got up there pretty well. Cole, already having pitched out, is going to get aggressive here and try to get... Well, I guess he couldn't quite get aggressive.
Mine's red.
Hamas once again with the forehand, kind of falling out of it. And this is on a great line. Holy cow. Actually goes long into the shul.
That's so much standstill power he just got on that shot. Flying past the basket, and as you called, Simon goes with that forehand turnover shot, catches some late high branches, and is going to fall short.
Under one handrail, over the next, and Redalen up there for a bogey.
Garett gave himself a long look for birdie there. Gives it a pretty good bid. Had enough height on it.
These putts play so long, but they are reasonably safe to run since you're so nose up that you're out of speed by the time you get to the basket. This is Adam coming out of the woods again for his third.
Yeah, and that's an interesting dynamic just to end up that deep there. He had to put so much snap on his disc just to try to get the flight that he wanted, that he ended up flying on past it.
Yeah, you can kind of tell where people land and don't land during casual play. I don't think a whole lot of folks are getting back there as gnarly as those woods appear to be.
And yet again, just a lone bogey on the card there. Moves us into hole 5. The shortest par 4 on the course, 451 feet. Have to carry this log to this area right here, about 260 to 275 feet off of the tee. If you get to that specific area, you got a pretty open shot. It is blind up to the basket, but very short still. And you've got your putter birdie.
Don't be fooled. The hole does have some teeth if you get off the fairway or this early left side. Very specific length of the landing zone.
Oh, and Simon catches the what seems to now be well-placed log in the fairway just for that reason.
I think a lot of players would like to use the ground to help slow their disc down. And very nicely done by Garett. Cole looking to bounce back. This is getting a little bit of left drift as well, and that is the center of the landing zone.
Ideal.
Everything from here is pretty speculative. Simon lining up the high forehand.
Well,
And that's terrific. He is at the bucket.
there you go. That's what happens on these short par 4s sometimes. A similar spot here, but I really wouldn't expect a similar result. And looks like he is going to get out and have a pretty easy up and down for his par there.
And the putter turnover, likely to lead to a putter birdie.
There you go. And Cole in an even more open spot. Might have a slight bit more turnover, but doesn't have that early stuff on the left to deal with.
Great shot, Cole. Thank you.
And you hear the card telling him, great shot, Cole, before they've even seen the rest of its flight. Adam, good scramble, going to take a 4.
Yeah, it's not a 4 that you want, but it is still reasonable. You know, it's not quite like taking a bogey. I mean, clearly it's not, because it's not a bogey, but you'd still rather get it.
Hole 6, 947 feet, a par 5. Like to get some left to right drift on your tee shot. Fairway driver or even distance driver is available. And then the fairway is going to take a severe dogleg to the left, almost a fishhook shape. If you haven't gotten to the corner at least on your second, you can kiss birdie goodbye. Going to track a little bit downhill. And then need speed control coming into the green as there is downslope behind it. This looks pretty good out of Simon. Maybe a touch right, but has the stability to finish and will be in the middle.
Yeah, great shot there. And unless you push it with a distance driver and really try to make that corner, then that's about the best you can do. And leaving your second shot where you can't really get that far and you're still going to have a third shot approach, which I do like about this par 5.
Yeah, 947, but it is truly a 3-shot hole. Garett with the fairway driver play. Nice rightward drift and then back to the center. And Redalen matching it. Everybody so far in good position. We'll see what Adam can manufacture with the forehand.
Yeah, have to throw something a little bit on the understable side here as well, unless you want to test some trees on the left. And he is going to test those trees on the left. Well, not quite, but gets a nice grab and doesn't skip off into the woods on the right, which you do see fairly often.
So now the idea, get around the cluster of stuff on the left. Better to throw too far than too short, and use late stability to your advantage.
Go for it.
Yeah, and he's thrown a bit too far there. That's a pretty steep slope from left to right that we were just looking at right there.
Flare.
And you hear them calling for the flare.
Yeah, a bit too much speed, also pushes long, but difficult not to on this one, really. That's what I was talking about with the shape of this second shot. You can't really get much farther than they're going. If you have a little more height on it and stall out rather than that speed that they have, then you can carry that corner and still stay in the fairway.
Yeah, absolutely. But difficult to manage that without also being early. Simon from the little more left side. And everybody off the backside of the fairway.
Yeah, it depends on where you land back there. It can be a little sketchy, or you might have a straight look at it.
Yeah, odds are you're going to have some kind of angle into the green. Adam with a little bit of a turnover look. And gets the distance into circle 2. Has a chance for the bird.
Garett seemed pretty stymied there. Have to go steep hyzer. And he's landed over with the bees and the wasps that have made themselves at home here on hole 6.
Yeah. Keep going. Miss it. Yes. Go.
And Cole, just enough drift to break in front of the twin leaners. I'd watch that again.
Yeah, just a beautiful turnover shot here with the putter. Gives it height
Yes. Go.
that it needs to carry all of that distance. And like he said, just low enough to miss those 2 leaning trees. Beautiful shot from Cole to get up and down for a birdie.
And Simon, the footing was a little iffy. He's able to spin it, but not quite put any speed on it. And bad read by the entire crowd, it seems like.
I don't know. That got up there pretty close.
It sounded like they were cheering for it to go in. Adam low on his birdie attempt. He'll have to take the par. And buckets for Garett. Was able to work himself to near edge of circle.
Yeah, he's worked himself under par now. Through 6 holes. Simon looking to go 2 down, about 23 feet out. Connects no problem.
So overall, pretty well done by our card. 3 down overall.
Open champion. Hold like this.
Moves us into hole 7, a 325-foot par 3. Pretty tight little shot here. You've got some OB all the way down the right side. There's an intended line, and then if you miss that line to the right, it's kind of open as well.
Yeah, significant clearing has been done on this since last year. Simon, this is the safe play, I think. He hits the intended fairway and then kind of bails out to the left.
Yeah, very difficult to get that righty backhand to go down that fairway and stand up late. It looks like Garett's got a pretty nice line on it, but didn't quite get that stand up. Forehand plays here as well. Surprised, or we might see Adam do that. So Cole has kind of hit that right side gap that I was talking about. And if you miss it right, there's a little gap there, and he slides up nicely into circle 1.
And as you noted, Adam going to the zone, even at 325. That's a pretty good tug. And the wind pushes him off to the left. And then a bonus roll to circle.
Yeah, I did not know there was a gap off to the left side that you could get through, but Adam Hammis in circle 1.
Okay, Okay, decent scramble so far from Garett. See if his putt can save the day.
Simon for turkey. Just a little bit low right there. Didn't seem to have the glide that he typically has on his putts.
And Garett going to take a step back to even. Adam in.
Yeah, nice birdie. This is one of the holes, although it's kind of tight off of the tee, it's one of the more gettable holes out on this track. Just at 325 feet, 15th most difficult.
I think that's the key, the 325, that every player in the field can reach it. Everyone is trying to attack it.
Yeah, still only had 26% of the field take birdies, though. That's 38 players out of 145.
Myself in hole 2, Garett 4, Simon 3.
We'll move on to hole 8, 389 feet. We're going to throw over OB initially. Kind of a series of stacked gaps. Basket on the left is not the one we're going to. We're going to go all the way back here down the hill. OB lining the entire right side. And with a slight tailwind today, I expect to see mostly mid-range backhands.
Yeah, pretty tight gap off of the tee as well. Cole has hit it
Nice on that side, L.
nicely, and he's going to slide up into that back wall.
Good job. Thank you.
Nicely done inside circle 1.
Adam getting some drift, but enough stability to catch up. That row of trees on the left, a pretty common catcher's mitt.
Yeah, they can be a bit scary, though, with that much height. If he could have caught that on the right side, could have kicked him off to the OB. The drop zone on this hole is optional. You can take it with normal OB rules, or you can go to the drop zone.
Simon doesn't mess around with the real gap, but does get about pin high looking down at the basket. And Garett, this is tugged too far right.
Yeah, needs a little bit of help.
Looks like it gets the help.
Yeah, he's going to be inside circle 1, looking for a birdie. Adam just needs to hit this gap here and get down. Able to do so, has an opportunity for par. Never on the fairway once. Birdie.
Simon's surveying everybody else. Cole's going to take about 2 feet off of the wall, and maybe not being able to take a full meter away from the near side.
Yeah, I'm surprised not to see him straddle there. I've seen him straddle putt before. I know it's a putt that he has, and that would have been for 4 birdies in a row. Garett bounces back nicely, straight back to under par.
So they're discussing that the out-of-bounds line, like Cole, is on the backside of those timbers. So Adam also going to abbreviate his left foot kick and converts for the par.
Yeah, not something we see too often. 33% birdie, 35% par, 32% bogey or above. All in the 30s there on hole 8. Moves us into hole 9, 732-foot par 4. A bit of a soft left to right movement here. You'd like to land just to the right of where the drone is at. Get about 415 feet off of the tee or so. So you can be looking straight down this gap, but it's pretty tight at the end as well. It's got some late guardian trees. Another par 4 that's very gettable, but just seems to kind of stay out of your reach the whole time.
Yeah, I find getting to the real landing zone significantly challenging. Simon pulls it through the right side, but gets all of the distance he needs. Garett.
This looks fantastic.
Yeah. Does flirt with the right side a little bit, and he's a little ways back of the proper landing zone, but does look down the tunnel.
Yeah, like you said, pretty difficult landing zone to access. You've got to push forward a lot with this righty backhand, just like Cole Redalen has done right here. Have it drift right the entire way and just slightly flatten out. He's going to be looking straight down that second fairway.
Really good control of a very understable disc, and Adam too much hyzer.
Yeah, that was going to be moving well right into the woods. This should give him an opportunity to make it to that second fairway. But pretty tight gap there. Going to get caught up again.
That's kind of what happens at the middle section of Northwood when you try to do too much from out of position. Adam going to be on the right side, inside 200 feet.
Oh, dang it. Get off that. Go.
Garett got to a pretty good spot, just a little bit farther back than Cole, but pulls his over to the right too much.
Simon with the Anheuser swing.
Worst possible result.
It's very thick over there on the right side. I have to see what Simon ended up with. And look at this approach shot from Cole.
Oh, just absolutely destroyed this hole.
Oh my goodness.
Sure.
So sick.
You can't do it any better. The drive and the upshot as we take another look here.
Absolutely destroyed this hole.
I think if you painted a line down the middle of the fairway from tee to basket, he followed it.
Yeah, fantastic play there from Cole.
So here's Simon from what he proclaimed the worst possible. Forehand
Yes.
roller to the backside of the green. Definitely an obstructed look, but something that is inside circle too.
Yeah, nice to catch those trees and stop him right there. Garett, nice up and down. He's going to be inside circle one, looking for his par.
He's been very effective with that putter approach thus far. That'll bring us to Simon for his par. And a little bit high.
Is his putt moving a little faster than the last time? I feel like it's faster than the last time I saw him play.
I think you may be right. The nose angle seems a little more varied today as well. So Adam going to card the bogey. 1 down overall on this front. 11 for the tournament. However, anything under par is pretty acceptable.
Yeah.
Annoyed by the bogeys, but just stay under on this black course.
Yeah, if you can get under on the front, you've got some tough holes coming up, or a tough stretch of holes coming up here on the back nine that you really got to fight through. Cole Redalen, early bogey, but almost 5 birdies in a row, just a short missed putt. Adam Hammis just the 1 bogey and 2 bogeys for all our other players there.
And you see Ezra Robinson out to that lead. A bunch of people still stacked up here with a 4-round tournament. Everybody is still in this ball game. I'm very excited to see this back nine. Some of the most challenging holes on the entire tour yet to come.
Yeah, the most challenging included in that. Thank you guys for joining us out here at Northwood for round 2 front 9 coverage. Make sure you tune in to Gatekeeper Media for round 2 back 9 coverage coming up shortly. For Andrew Fish, I'm Nathan Queen. We'll see you guys out there.